lot of people are asking the whole issue of what's going on with this war, what's the opinion in regards to this war between Russia and Ukraine. Not everything is the way it looks. Not everyone is always the victim that they seem to be. Not everything is 100% the way the media portrays for it to be. Now, I'm not telling anybody to pick a side, whether it be Ukraine or it be Russia. What I am telling you here is that you have to know the truth as far as what the Torah's perspective is. First and foremost, those of you that are spending your days and nights watching videos about some rabbi telling you this is the end of the world, this is Gog Magog, the Mashiach is coming any day. Stop it. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave us clear instructions of what that war will look like. And this is not it. If you want to see what it looks like, go to Zechariah chapter 14. Go to Yechezkel chapter 38. There's a reason why HaKadosh Baruch Hu specified how the war will look like. Different things that will happen. Our Masoret is that Gog Magog will look a specific way. There's going to be certain things that happen. Can this build up to be that? Of course it's possible that it can build to that. But is it right now? Absolutely not. When it comes to these wars, it is a mistake for the Jewish people to pick a side, especially publicly. Whether you want to pick a side in your own mind, that's your business. But once a person starts expressing their opinion publicly, whether it be on the social media or articles and things of that nature, then whether you like it or not, the world will always view you as the representation of the Jewish people. Regardless of which part of the world you live in, you now become the representation of the Jewish people. But the reality is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu does not want us to express these opinions because it's none of our business. For all of you that are out there saying, oh, but it's not fair that Putin is doing this, how could he do it? He's a terrorist, he should be killed. Habibi, relax yourself. This is how a Torah-less nation operates. You have a dictator, leader, president, or whatever you want to call him, that has whatever he has and decides he wants more. Oh, but it's not fair. Go live in a different world then, Habibi. This is the way his world operates. He doesn't have spiritual ambitions to go and elevate his neshama, to go to heaven and serve mankind. He has an ambition to acquire more. Just like the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah says, you give him 100, he wants 200. You give him 200, he wants 400. You give him 400, he wants 800. Why does he want more as he gets more? Because that's his life. So while you may think that, let's say, Putin is the enemy, guess what? His people don't think that. They think, hey, he's going to get us some more security. See, look, Ukraine has been a long time enemy anyway, so it's not like they're going to attack their best friend. Number two, there are people that have a lot of resources. Russia is a big country, they need those resources. But you don't need them today, you could just buy them. Sure, I could just buy them, or I could just conquer the land. Yeah, but that's not fair. What do you mean it's not fair? That's how nations work. They go and conquer each other. They go and beat each other. And what do you think, that your country, wherever you may live, whether it be America or any other country, wouldn't do it if they had the opportunity? This is how a Torah-less environment works. If they have the strength, they portray that strength, use that strength to do what they want to do. This is no different than any other time in history. This is not justifying or supporting evil. This is just a reality that everyone has to come to terms with, and therefore expressing our so-called negative opinions or the condemning it. Oh, I condemn, we condemn him for doing such a thing. Who the hell are you that he's going to care about you? I don't understand people. Go mind your business. What's your business? Your business is to serve Hashem. Your business is to serve Hashem. Because the Zohar Kadosh says to us, before one nation goes to war with another nation, they're sarim, they're angels. Each nation has an angel. Their angels first fight. And when they start fighting in Shamayim, they fight down here. And Am Yisrael needs to know, the only thing you should be concerned with when you hear that there are two nations at war is that it's time for you to do tshuva. Not to go write blog posts and express your opinion about who you think is going to win and whether America should get involved and whether China is none of this stuff matters. It's not your business. Your business is to do what the Torah says. The Torah says, do tshuva. That's it. We were supposed to do tshuva yesterday, the day before, a week ago, a year ago, 3 years ago, and forevermore, and forever after. This is how it works. Our job in the world is not to become the news. And in fact, when we express our opinions, whether we're supporting one side or the other, we are actually putting a target on our face. We are actually causing more harm than good, because no one's going to listen to you anyway. Putin is not going to stop the war because some rabbi decided to do a lecture about it to say that he condemns his actions. Needless to say, he's not going to stop it because some news network decided to write 15 different articles about it. He doesn't care about your opinion. In fact, it may actually ignite him to make things even worse. Furthermore, it's not your role in the world to speak about these things publicly. Your role in the world is to speak Torah publicly, to share Torah publicly. You don't have any Torah to share? Then try being quiet. It's a very good trait. In fact, the son of Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai says in the Mishnah in Avot, I've lived among Chachamim my whole life, and I've learned many good things, but none of the things are as good as the lesson of how being quiet is beneficial for a person. If you're a fool, no one will know. And if you're smart, it allows you to acquire more wisdom because you're able to listen to wise people. But everybody decides to make videos and articles and we condemn and we support and we do this and we do that. Oh, because there's a big keilah there. There's a big keilah everywhere and there's a small keilah, and I promise you, nothing is what it seems like. What they're doing over there is what people do when they're in that position. If you are a king of a country with endless supply of everything you possibly wanted, guess what? You'd probably want more too. Why? You'd rationalize it to secure the future, to be even a bigger power, and whatever other reasons people have for these crazy things. You would rationalize it too. Why? Because that's what leaders do. It's not saying that it's good. It's just simply saying it's a reality. To expect anything else is simply stupid and naive. And anyone that thinks that their own country, their own backyard, doesn't do it or wouldn't do it if they had the same opportunity is simply lying to themselves. This is simply a reality, Rabotai. And that's why we as Torah observant people have to stick our nose where it belongs. Our nose belongs in the Torah, nothing else. Don't waste your time watching the news. Don't waste your time going over the news. Don't become an expert of the news, because we've already fell for that Satan's trap over the last couple of years where people became obsessed about Corona. Then they became obsessed about the vaccine. Then they became obsessed about the conspiracy behind the vaccine. Now they're obsessed about these wars. Don't you understand? These are all messages from HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Mind your business. Yeah, but there's Jews over there. Okay, so support them quietly. Why do you have to make such a big stink? You want to go support somebody? By all means, go support somebody. But you don't have to go do everything that they're doing every day, every 2 seconds. Somebody's saying they're condemning, they're this. Who are you? What do you think your role in the world is? I promise you, neither one of the leaders cares about your opinions. And the fact that it looks like, oh, yeah, but he did good. He came to the Kotel. Both of them had relationships that were relatively decent with the Jewish people at different times. Both of them have reasons to do whatever it is that they're doing. It's not our business. Simple. It's not our business. Our business, go serve Hashem. That's our business. Everything else, it's not our business. And by not our business, I'm not telling you, listen, go stop buying guns and going to fight the war. I know none of you are doing it. By not our business, what I'm saying to you is that every single minute you watch the news, you read the news, you obsess yourself with the news, is bitul Torah 100%, and that is bringing tragedy to the world. That bitul Torah, that waste of time, that's what's bringing tragedy to the world. Not Putin, not the other one, not this one, none of that. What's bringing tragedy to the world is people are not learning Torah. And instead they're watching the news. That's what's bringing tragedy to the world. So if you're so upset about their tragedy, stop causing tragedy yourself. Because the reality is, our role in the world is not to be politicians or newscasters. And anyone that tells you otherwise is simply doesn't know Torah or is simply a liar. I don't know what they are, but either way, this is what the truth is. At least one small lesson we can learn is that HaKadosh Baruch Hu knows what he wants. And he gave us instructions in order to make sure we know what he wants. He wants us to serve him in a specific way. And the Rambam writes in his Yad Chazakah that there is no mitzvah in the world more important than learning Torah. Nothing is more important than learning Torah. No mitzvah supersedes Torah. So when a person spends their time wasting it, watching the news, becoming emotionally involved with the news, whether it be the virus, the vaccine, all this mumbo jumbo, you are in essence taking what HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants, you're simply putting it in the garbage, or in a nicer terms, in the closet, and you're going and playing with the garbage. Because that's what's happening today. People are consumed with the news and did not learn a single lesson of how people ended up losing their olam haba as a result of their obsession with the news, where their obsession with corona and the vaccine led them to countless sins that they did not even imagine were possible, because they figured, what? I'm just watching the news to make sure what's going on is I know what's going on. What's so bad about knowing what's going on? What's so bad about knowing what's going on is because you're thinking that there's going to be something new under the sun. I don't know what's going on in the news. You know how I know that there is, bad stuff and this one and that one? Simple. The news doesn't change. Only thing that changes is the names. Rabbi Yaron Reuven said it countless times in his lectures over the years, wrote it in his books. You don't need to read the news. Simply, it's the same news over and over again, just the names change. For thousands of years, it's the same news. Names change. Now it's this leader wants to kill that leader. Tomorrow it's going to be that leader trying to kill the other leader. Now it's this economy going up. And then it's going to be this economy going down. Now it's this trade, that trade. It's all the same thing. Shlomo HaMelech says, nothing new under the sun. You don't need to read the news. All you got to do is read the Torah and you're going to know the news. Read the Torah and you're going to know the news. So please, Rabotai, you have to stop causing damage to yourself, because the people that obsessed with Corona, some of them literally left Torah, left the world of Torah, left religiosity as a result of their obsessions with the Corona and the virus, and how they were disappointed with the rabbis that weren't supportive of the vaccine, or disappointed and disgusted with the rabbis that were against it or for it, whichever side they were in. There were crazy people on this side, there were crazy people on that side. And guess what? Both of those people have victims that literally have lost their olam haba because of those obsessions. I know firsthand people that literally became so obsessed, they became more active than the news networks. Because the news networks usually focus on their own stuff. These people, they made sure to watch and read all of the news, all of the networks. Oh, CNN says that, but Fox says that, but this other independent channel, it says that. But there's also several other independent channels in different countries, and it says this. Oh, and did you watch Dr. Zelenko? And did you watch Dr. this one? And he's a Jew. Oh, he's not a Jew, but he's really smart. He has a PhD. He's a really big doctor. I never heard of him before, but it says on TV over there that he's a really big doctor. Oh, and did you see this guy's blog post? Who cares about these things? Did any of these articles help anybody? Serve Hashem better in any way? Did any of these articles do anything positive for anybody? No. All it did is make people either look crazy or go crazy. And this is exactly happening again. The Gemara tells us, you see, there's a war, you have to realize it's a message from Shamayim. Not if you see there's a war against Am Yisrael. That's already a decree. That already means that we didn't listen to the wars of the nation's message, to the tsunamis of the nation's message, to the earthquakes of the nation's message to tell us to do chuva. When there's a war on us, chas v'shalom, that's already a decree. Right now, there are warning messages, countless warning messages. And if we do not roll up our sleeves and start realizing it's time for us to start learning Torah, to live by it, we're losing a lot more than we're gaining. What these nations are going to do, they're going to do. What we do will have much more impact than any tank. If we start doing tshuva seriously, stop lying about the basic principles of Jewish faith, such as schar ve'onesh, reward and punishment, stop distorting the Torah in order to appease people, start delivering the truth to people, we can bring peace. We can bring salvation. But if we continue watching and spreading the so-called news, I promise you, nothing good will come out of it. Not for the individual and surely not for the people. And all of these different campaigns and different things that people are doing, I promise you, it's something that you have to be very careful. I feel really bad when I see that there are so much corruption out there, and people, because of their naive hearts and emotional driven decisions, they literally lose the only money they truly have.